I do have like the robotic element, which is this lower element here with all the sort of pipes coming up. But then this form up here is a little bit more abstract. The choice to work in clay was much more a body choice, if that makes sense, opposed to like a brain choice. Like my body really loved working in clay. I fell in love with working on the wheel. I fell in love with pushing the material around it.
His mom came in with the boys on her way home from school. Brendan made a fish at school, and so his mom wanted me to sculpt a wall for around that fish. Brendan had to work with me as an apprentice that summer. And so that started it, and then the following year, Victor had Brendan as an apprentice in the pottery studio in Chemainus.
And get it nice and smooth to eliminate the throwing lines.
I arranged with Brendan that I would give him throwing lessons at any time during the week when it was convenient for him, if he could give me a day off and take care of the shop while I was absent. From the start, I recognized that he had not just an ambition, but a skill in the arts that was already developing so strongly. I was in awe right from the beginning.
And he was at that age where I think it's hard to talk to your own parents, so he would talk to us. He was also going to do what his family would be proudest of and not frighten them into being, this artsy guy. He said he had no interest in pottery. He didn't want to be a potter. And I remember at one point looking at him and saying, yeah, but Brendan, you don't choose clay. Clay chooses you.
When I reflect on my art career and thinking about those times where I started in Ladysmith, working with Josie and Vic, and those really sort of working in those spaces and thinking about where my art career has taken me.
He's been nominated for numerous awards, including a shortlist for Canada's prestigious Sobey Award and other international awards, and is really highly recognized, particularly in the ceramics community. He's considered a leader. This is one of Brendan Tang's artworks. It's part of his Manga Ormolu series, which he first became widely recognized for. He is a full-time professor at Emily Carr University, which is, not an easy feat, and he recently worked with some colleagues to create a podcast called Kiln Sitters.
Thanks for joining us as we travel around Turtle Island, aka Canada.
Speaking with artists, learning about their practice and perspective on what truly makes Canadian ceramic unique.
Not only is he a teacher, but he also gives back by giving talks across the country. Brendan Tang's exhibition, Reluctant Offerings, which took place last May at Nanaimo Art Gallery, featured a life-sized 1984 Ford F-150 made of hand-painted watercolor paper. The date of 1984 is really significant because that was the year that Brendan and his family moved to Nanaimo. So that particular vehicle, the ubiquitous F-150 that really resonated for Brendan as a symbol of perhaps an old boys club that he might not be welcomed into, but also something that had its allure.
A lot of my work that I do is about the hybrid experience, about switching in from doing ceramics that is both traditional Chinese work and also kind of referencing sci-fi ideas. The F-150 is a hybrid idea between this real symbol of masculinity and also thinking about marrying it with joss paper, which is this Chinese tradition where you burn paper objects as gifts for your ancestors. So like a lot of my ideas kind of are in a lot of ways autobiographical, where I'm thinking about my own identity within Canadian culture and how I negotiate those, and also becoming from like a mixed race family is also part of that negotiation as well.
Brendan Tang is being honored with the Excellence in Culture Award from the City of Nanaimo. I can't think of a more deserving person.
He's really not just a municipal treasure to Nanaimo, but really one of the living treasures for BC artists.
I had some challenges growing up as a kid, not feeling like I fit in and not feeling like I was part of that community. But this award for me has definitely been something that they've been like, no, you are part of this community. You are part of its sort of great fabric, like being a brown immigrant kind of moving to Nanaimo as a young person and not really feeling like I'm clicking, and now in some way I feel like I'm representing Nanaimo, which is really exciting.